You're up.
No, we're live.
Yeah, so start speaking.
All right. This is the first day of the new podcast. Mic'd up with Chris and Mike. My name's Chris, and I can guess you know who the other person is.
Yeah, I'm John. No, I'm Mike.
Yeah, he's not Mike. We just call him Mike. Anyway, so first couple of weeks of school. How the first couple of weeks for you, Mike?
I'm tired, man. I'm tired, man. I can't believe it's still the first semester. I feel like I've been here for like 4 years already.
It's been only 2 weeks.
Oh my god.
You're suffering already?
I'm suffering hard, man. These teachers, they don't play. They got assignments every day, man.
Well, suck it up. I don't know what to tell you. Cry about it.
Thanks
I
for the
don't know.
tips.
No problem. So, Mike, you brought up an interesting topic to me yesterday. You want to tell the people what's up?
All right, so as you may have seen, there's a lot of drama surrounding GTA 6 because a hacker got into Rockstar's footage and like their software and illegally downloaded most of the footage that they had for GTA 6 and are now saying that they have more clips of unreleased footage and that they want to cut a deal with Rockstar. I'm assuming financially, Rockstar will pay him for the clips, which is absolutely insane because that game was not supposed to come out for probably another 2-3 years.
Now the game's gonna probably be on more delay. We've been waiting for this since, let's see, GTA 5's been
2013.
Let's see, they've been doing like DLCs for it, making the game popular again before they start releasing the thing. Now it's definitely gonna get set back. Honestly, pretty coincidental. This game teaches you about things you shouldn't do, and the guy committed the acts of the game basically.
Yeah.
He just stole from.
Everyone's saying that man got like 5 stars right now, that everyone's looking for him. But what's crazy is like the footage, some people were kind of pushing down on it, saying, oh, it doesn't look good. But people got to remember that game was not supposed to come out anytime soon.
Oh, no, forget it.
And it didn't even look that bad, to be honest. It looked like an updated GTA 5, which is kind of what a sequel is. It's just a betterment on the previous installment.
Yeah, it's just more. It's gonna be like the same concept, really, but just obviously graphics are gonna improve over the years. And
yeah, now with the
everything.
PS5s and like the new Xboxes and all that.
Yeah, eventually they're just gonna switch to everything new. But with the whole I'm gonna call it a scandal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I think it's pretty interesting. You think it's an employee from Rockstar that got fired or something? That's what I think. I think he's just trying to mess with everything. Maybe they laid him off or whatever. He didn't appreciate it, and he's trying to get them back.
So in Rockstar Statement, they also stated that this will not have any effect on the game's development, that the game will probably still be released on schedule. They referred to this hacker as a third party. So I'm assuming that he's not a Rockstar employee. He's just someone who knows his way around computers and knew how to get into their software.
A little too familiar with the software. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, hacking can happen anywhere. Like, anyone can be familiar with the system. This time about with everything going on, I don't know. I just think it's a little odd. It can happen with any other game, but specifically this game we've been waiting for a very long time. I mean, personally, I didn't grow up with GTA. I played it a little bit later, and I thought the concept was pretty cool. I was like, oh, I can't wait to play it. I'll actually learn the game more. But now it's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and in the leaks, now Rockstar is taking down all clips of the leaks, and they're also deleting any channels that are posting those leaks now. Rockstar's getting ahead of the situation now. Well, so in the leaks that I saw someone holding up a convenience store, which is something that you can do in GTA. And like I said, it looked just like GTA 5, just a little bit better. And I also saw a car crash, and you could see like how they programmed the car crash, like how the car is going to flip, what's the damage on the car and stuff like that. It was really interesting, but now you can't watch it anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like my friend out there, right here, the one staring at us, he's actually a GTA fan too. So I'm wondering what his opinion on it, but I'm not going to ask him.
Yeah.
He's irrelevant right now.
We also learned that the setting of the game is taking place in kind of like Vice City, which is one of the previous games. And we also learned that one of the protagonists, this was an official one. We learned that it's actually going to be a Latina woman. It's going to be GTA's first woman protagonist.
Oh, so they're switching it up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. They say so. Vice City is kind of like Miami, so I'm assuming it's going to be kind of like a Miami vibe.
They should switch it up. I mean, listen, now it's like I think they're trying to capture more of like what's going on today. I feel like listen, that's how games are based on. They're gonna base some stuff off real life or whatever, no matter like how messed up or like true it is. I mean, I think they should switch it up a little bit. Get with the younger. I mean, get with like the more modern audience.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say younger.
Yeah, exactly.
I shouldn't say younger. Get with the more modern people that are mature enough to play the game.
Yeah, this is crazy because if you also don't know, Rockstar produces the Red Dead Redemption video games.
Yeah.
And the second one came out, and the story is a masterpiece. It almost won Game of the Year, but lost, I think, God of War. That multiplayer was left to die. They did not update that multiplayer at all. It was kind of tragic because that game is incredible, but there was no content left in that multiplayer. So some people feel like, people who don't realize that the game was not supposed to be released, like I keep on saying, oh, you put in all that work into GTA 6, and this is what you have so far, while this game has been basically left to die.
What, Red Dead?
Yeah, exactly, the online mode.
I mean, with this now, I mean, it's putting the company to the test now because they're gonna have to learn how to. They're gonna, with also the hacker going on now, they gotta learn, like, what does this teach us? What can we do to improve it for when it comes out? Because now I feel like they have to take a step up because they said the game's gonna still come out on time. By all means, like they're gonna do.
But now everyone's expectations are a little bit different because now they've seen footage.
You think it's lower or higher, the expectations? What for you? What do you think the expectations are?
My expectations pretty much remain the same. Speaking from like a public standpoint, I think the expectations are higher now.
Yeah.
Just personally, because when people get more information, they draw more comparisons, they draw more inferences, like, oh, this means that's coming or this is coming, stuff like that. What could the future possibly hold?
Yeah, I gotcha. Again, I'm looking forward to see what they're gonna do. Again, I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I can't wait. Now, it'd be funny if now, like they said, the game's gonna still come out regular time. Imagine they do like a sick joke now where they put like a little side story about like the hacker as a joke. Maybe they do like a little side mission.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely sure because Rockstar and GTA as a whole is a very meta series. And remember, if you've ever played GTA 5, there's a character Lester where he is a hacker, and what he does is he hacks on like bank systems or stuff like that. Rockstar is always ahead of what's culturally happening right now, so I think there'll definitely be some sort of like in joke about the hackers.
Definitely make that joke. 100%.
Yeah,
I think that'll be great.
Exactly. That's how it is now. You just own up to what's happening in the real world. Don't act like it doesn't go on. A lot of people appreciate that.
Yeah, they respect you for being real to it, even though how messed up it is. Like, yeah, someone got hacked in, but you got to make the best of it. You know what I mean? You got to try to move on from it.
Exactly. You got to grab hold of that because if you don't, you let the hacker win, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, I think he knew exactly what he was doing.
Oh yeah.
He 100% knew what he was doing. He's like, I can really get them for a lot of money, blah blah blah. And honestly, I think the company will give them the money. I don't think they're worried about putting him away. I think they're more worried about like the revenue they're going to get from the product. They want like good reviews and everything. I think they're going to worry about him later.
Someone had threw in the number that they had paid him 100,000. Now that's only one source. I feel like even 100,000, that's a lot of money. But for a company like Rockstar and a title as big as GTA 6,
that's low.
Exactly. I mean, that's only one source. So I didn't even bother like really following up on it.
He's getting paid for it all. I think he's just doing it on his own.
No, well, he wants to blackmail him. I'm assuming he wants to cut a deal.
He wants millions, I bet.
Exactly, and
set for life.
And Rockstar does have the millions. At least that's my guess. So, yeah, I don't think the 100,000 number is real.
Nah, I don't think so either. They're gonna shoot way. They're gonna shoot way up. Forget it.
But I think that guy will definitely be found soon. When you mess with a company like that,
oh, forget it. But I think they're gonna give him what he wants, but then they're gonna figure out everything after. I think I think their main priority right now should be trying to get back what they need because they don't want the experience to be ruined. Something like that can mess up a company. That could say it doesn't go through. Like say they don't make a deal and he's holding onto it and he releases it. That's a downfall.
Yeah,
that's how you lose a business right there. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly shocked that we still haven't learned his name. You would think like I honestly thought Rockstar would just come after him like that, get him real quick. The fact that he's been pretty much free, it seems, for like 3 days, almost at a week at this point, is shocking me. I thought Rockstar would have swooped in on him. Maybe one clip would have gotten out, but no. And like I said, he's claiming to have much more footage that no one's seen yet that he's still holding on to.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't anything serious, I don't think Rockstar would have been posting anything about it.
Yeah, it was very serious.
Exactly. Like if it wasn't in such a serious scenario, they would have just ignored it. You know what I mean? And I'm seeing all the memes about it. It's funny though. Like it's messed up and funny at the same time. It's just like what are you doing?
Because it's a game. It's the literal title of the game is Grand Theft Auto. It's a game that centers around committing crimes. So now the company that makes games about committing crimes just had a crime committed against them. So a lot of people were making fun of them for it.
Yeah, that was like what I think we were talking about yesterday. I saw that we were seeing one of the memes. I was like, that's actually funny because that's true. So now, again, we were saying before, I think it'd be pretty interesting if they put this little scandal into the game.
They will. They will.
I think they should.
I'm sure they will.
Forget it. Now
we got that other big thing.
we got that other big thing.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't heard, or if you guys aren't active on social media, or especially video game social media, uh, there's a recent scandal about gambling on Twitch. There was a big time streamer who would gamble a lot and lost a lot of money. Was DMing his friends, being like, "Hey, can I get money for this, that, and this?" Lying to them, saying, "Oh, I need for a car, I need for a plane ticket, I need for this," because he was a gambling addict and he is a big time streamer. And would stream some of his gambling stuff on Twitch. So now a lot of big time streamers like Ms. Kiff and Pokemane are calling for like a ban on gambling on Twitch, and they're asking Twitch to take action against it.
By the way, if you do have a gambling addiction, hit up the hotline. They
Yeah.
will help you. Also, I don't think it should be banned for the only reason that you can find anything on any like social media platform, Twitch. I'll even say YouTube as one because I feel like people find a lot of their news about like you want to look up anything, you want to learn about anything nowadays. You go on YouTube, you look it up, and that's it. I just feel like how easy it is to access. It shouldn't be banned, but limited to yes, there should be like certain filters on for like younger audience. Now everyone's different. You're not gonna have a bunch of young kids necessarily become gambling addicts. That's not how everyone works. Some people know their limits. I think it's more like it's by the person. I don't think it should be ruined for everybody that can limit themselves, but also it should be limited to those who can't handle themselves too. Like that's why they have like all like the gambling hotline things, like to help people. You should like say if you go to a place like that, you should be put on a limit. Or, you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, like, when always stuff like this happens, if certain movies get made or certain music gets put out there, they immediately go to the creator. But I think the creator doesn't go home with that younger audience. It's the parents. The parents have to monitor their kids. If my kid's watching gambling on Twitch, how is that affecting them? Or watching anything on anything? Like, to blame the creator, yes, he's got it with a problem.
Well, that's the difference, though. That's a guy that couldn't handle himself. And also, you have people that are not bright enough to like, listen, if you try to help a friend out, like that, I completely understand. But if you have some random people donating him money and was like, oh, I need it for this, this, and this, you should think twice before you do it. Like donating on streams, that's different. That's your money. You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But like asking a loan from friends and just wasting it on it, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Forget it. But I blame the people donating the money as is.
Yeah, a lot of people took screenshots of the conversations about where he's asking for money, upwards to like $1,000, $2,000, crazy amounts. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people are saying, well, Pokemane and I think another big time streamer are claiming they're going to walk out on Twitch during the holiday season, which is where Twitch makes the most in ad revenue during the holiday season.
Oh, forget it.
But a lot of people are saying, well, racism and transphobia and other big issues are huge on Twitch. No one cared, not a peep. But now suddenly everyone's united over gambling on Twitch.
Yeah, that's what I found weird too, because yeah, don't get me wrong. There's like a lot. There's a lot worse going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Way worse going on. But you're worrying about something that's filtered, like something that can be filtered, and also, again, it depends on the person though. Like you see other things, like we were saying yesterday. There is way worse than you can see on Twitch.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I remember
that doesn't get monitored, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can talk about it a little bit, but we can't go obviously in too much detail.
Oh yeah, of course.
There was a big thing on Twitch not too long ago. It's been kind of minor now, where there were hot tub streams, people in hot tubs, obviously in bathing suits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like no one cared about that. No one cared about limiting that, especially not Twitch, because those people were top content creators and and by the algorithm they were put up on the site. They were said for you or what's trending on Twitch. And it'd be those streams.
And I don't see how that's any better, to be very honest with you.
Yeah, I think it's worse.
Yeah, it's worse, I think.
Now, I think obviously addiction is a disease in any form.
Oh yeah,
but
of course.
To me, this is also the consequences of someone's actions. You know what I mean? Like to portray him as a sympathetic person, I feel like there's a little bit untrue about that because he's a grown man. I think his I don't want to like dox him or anything like that, but I think it's Sliker. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Yeah, he's a grown and he was
And that's what he does. He gambles live on Twitch or whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I think
he's someone that clearly can't handle doing what he's doing because he has an addiction.
Yeah, a lot of people. I think his main bread and butter was gambling on sports teams, which team's going to win, like fantasy stuff and stuff like that. Then a lot of people, and it wasn't so much like stuff like slot machines or blackjack or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So but it seems like this whole ban gambling on Twitch, they're going over every form of gambling, which obviously sports and betting gambling have become very intertwined over recent years.
Yeah, I feel like it's become more popular lately. Nowadays, it's just like I'll be watching TV, or like
Yeah.
say if I'm working, I'll stop for a second
Yeah.
and see the TV, and I just hear like, oh, I need like this score or whatever.
Yeah.
That's all it is nowadays. I've never seen people get more involved with sports unless it was for their money. It honestly, it's get people more involved with sports. I guess that's a good thing, but also it's kind of a bad thing at the same time if you think about it. You know what I mean? It's like a love-hate relationship.
Well, it's also like this new breed of like quasi sports fans, where it's people who purely put the bets on their phone and get notifications when the bet goes away or it doesn't go the ways. They don't even have to watch the games. They just see, oh, this person hit a home run, this person scored a touchdown, this many yards, this team won, yada yada yada. They're not even really watching the games. It's purely app like stuff like FanDuel.
You're just hoping they hit a certain thing. Like
exactly.
For example, say if the Yankees reversing the Mets or whatever, if you need Aaron Judge to hit 2 home runs in one game or whatever. Like you don't even have to watch the game.
Yeah, and
just bet on some random odds. And the more money you get is the less likely thing for it to happen. But if you happen to bet on it that time and it happens, it works. But nowadays, I don't know, because I've seen all types of gambling. Like sometimes like I'll watch it. Doesn't mean like I promote it or anything, but I see like people can control themselves too. Like there's some people who gamble. I guess you want to say gamble professionally.
Well, yeah, of course. There's a poker tournament that's played in Vegas every year.
Yeah, there's like in Barcelona, all that stuff. There's poker tournaments or whatever. Obviously, there's people that go broke. Obviously, there's people that win. But also, I feel like the people in those tournaments, they're more knowledgeable of what they're doing.
Yeah, they put limits on themselves and stuff like that. I think another thing though is like when someone is an alcoholic or addicted to something else, there's a drastic physical change in how they look.
Yeah.
But you can't pick out a gambling addict in a lineup. You can't do that because they look. There's no facial disfigurement. I mean, obviously, like they have like bags in their eyes. They're very stressed out. Gray hair and stuff like that.
Like appearance nowadays too.
Exactly.
You could tell by someone's appearance that. Well, say if you go to a casino, you could tell by someone's appearance if they're poor, if they got a lot of money. That's what I've learned recently. Your appearance at, say, for example, a poker table determines like what kind of person you are. If you got money or whatever, how you play and everything. Like it's all a matter of like appearance nowadays.
Yeah, I've seen like footage like casinos and stuff like that. Casinos actually, they don't have windows, so you can't tell if it's in the morning, evening, at the night. So obviously you want to stay longer. And if you look in casinos, there are no clocks. It's all about you don't
bright lights and everything.
Exactly.
It's like
it's all this. It's like sound chimes. When you hit like a slot machine, it's the cherries. It's cherries. Oh, it's a big noise. It's a brain thing.
Now, but tell me, what does a casino remind you of?
Reminds you, like
think of it as a kid's perspective. What does it remind you of?
Like an arcade. Yeah, exactly. So
that's how they honestly. That's how they start. As messed up as it sounds, arcades when you're kids or whatever, that's how they get you started a little bit.
Yeah, again, of course.
It's all about limits. When you go to arcade with a kid, you gotta spend like not so long time. You gotta be limited. That's what like back to like the whole gambling thing. People should be limited. They should be cultured on like when to stop. Yeah. I feel like that's the bottom line. When to stop, limit yourself. Again, I don't think it should be. Honestly, it depends on content. Obviously, there's worse things going on that should be banned. And this thing going on, well, you can go kind of back and forth with it. What, like gambling, like it's a bad thing. But people do it for certain reasons or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't judge people on what they do. If you want to do it, you got
exactly. That's your prerogative. That's your free will.
Like, if people do it for Twitch or whatever, like, say if you're a Twitch streamer and that's what you do, like, a part time, like, not all the time, then I don't see the problem with it. It's just the people watching should be limited. They should be like limited on what, like how far like their standards should be. And also, if I was on Twitch doing that, I would in the corner. I would advise people like, listen, if you have a problem,
exactly, it's not all winnings.
It's not like you're not going to win all the time. I would try to make that very clear to people. If you want to like, if I'm like very good at like what I do, I would like to teach people, but also explain to them, listen. If you got something going on, this is not for you. Like, don't waste your time doing this. I do this because of so-and-so. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then if you look at Twitch's guidelines, you are actually allowed, if you're streaming on Twitch, to consume alcohol so much as you are of legal age wherever you're streaming from, and you don't overindulge on it. So to ban gambling outright completely, that
And
seems
and
because
I,
in New York State you can play lotto at 18. I think you can also start betting at 18, stuff like
yeah,
that.
it depends. And also, I've seen streamers that have did like what you did, like they'll have like a couple or whatever, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. But again, I don't see anyone complaining about that. They think it's funny when they're in that state of mind.
Hmm.
But all of a sudden, now this, come
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
I personally, neither is good. But if I had to pick one, I mean, listen again. No, I wouldn't want to be a bad example indulging myself on a stream. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's not a good appearance.
Yeah, and is if you look at some like the black content creators on YouTube and Twitch, a lot of times they'll be playing the same games as like let's say a white streamer content creator, and the algorithm won't push them forward. It won't get them trending, or even I've seen this on YouTube. They'll play a video game and get a copyright claim and have their video taken down, whereas a white creator will play the exact same game the exact same way, and they won't get a copyright strike. So it to get up in arms about gambling while there's people who are struggling to make a living on Twitch and YouTube and other platforms purely based on the color of their skin, something they can't control, whereas gambling, you can kind of control that. It seems a little weird to me.
Yeah, there's just again like there's a perfect example. There's worse going on
Exactly.
than like the whole
Yeah,
gambling.
I don't think this should be the public outcry.
Yeah, like I don't get it. Like again, I personally like this not like I'm not like for about like all the nonsense going on, but I don't think it should be banned really. Like
Yeah. Well, I think there should be a filter on it or
a filter
or disclaimer. The same way if
on YouTube.
yeah, exactly. If you're on YouTube and it says this is not suitable for kids or younger audiences,
Exactly.
do you agree to watch this video? Yeah, same way it should be on Twitch for
And
gambling.
also, again, nowadays I feel like parents are more they're very lenient on what their kids do nowadays. Now, if this is another interesting thing. Say if you go to a restaurant, right?
Mhm.
Nowadays, what do you see when kids are at the table? They always have a phone on them,
iPad,
blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
everything. When we were kids, I didn't get my phone until like when I was like 12.
Yeah, I didn't get mine until 13. When I was a kid, you got the little coloring thing and 3 crayons, and you will play with crayons until your food came.
Nowadays, since kids are like more accessible to the internet now, they're just gonna like see everything. But I blame parents on that too.
Yeah.
Also, like obviously they don't want to hear their kids. Like obviously keep them distracted. The less noise they make, blah blah blah, whatever. Relax. But you gotta give your kids a filter.
Mm-hmm.
And as they get older, you can like start to loosely like adjust the
Yeah,
filter.
and there are parental controls on many apps. So it's to me it's completely up to the parents. The content creator does not go home with the children. They don't see the children every day. They don't have a personal connection.
They're just doing what they need to do to make money.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing a job, and their job is also streaming their job.
It's on them. If they want to do gambling, they go right ahead. If they don't benefit from them, then that's on them.
Mhm.
Again, like that streamer we were saying, he was not making the best choices. Clearly, he was asking people for money. Again, I also blame the people on that for giving him money to make it worse. And that's it.
Well, to be fair, he was lying to them about like why he needed the money, but I'm sure he's hitting up people he knows. I'm sure there's a circle of people like, hey, did this guy hit you up for money too? What's going on? Is he okay?
Yeah, like I guess maybe he's more personal with some of the kids. Maybe like
Exactly.
say for example, if I asked you for money for a legitimate reason, like say if like I was short on like a bill or whatever. If I asked you as a friend,
no questions asked. Yeah, I give you the money.
Exactly. I mean, I guess that could have been the certain situation for people, but if he was, were you saying he was hitting up random people too?
No,
or was it only friends.
He was hitting up friends. He was hitting up friends like people who are editors who edit content, or people who just make their own content.
I think the more.
I think to get scammed in the 21st century, it falls on you a little bit because
if it was happening a lot, then at that point, they should have been like, if it started, they realized it was happening more frequently. Maybe you should look more in depth of like why you're giving the person money. So like again, back to the example, if I needed money for something, like would you like hook me up? Like I'll pay you back or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you see that I keep asking you, you're gonna be a little concerned.
That's why I'd be like, Chris, what's going on? Like really, come on.
What's really going on?
Yeah, exactly. And like if I give you the money, I wouldn't like hit you up a day later, a week later, and be like, hey, can I get the money back? I give you more than enough time until.
And also, I give you my word.
Yeah, exactly.
It
was a gross misuse of trust.
With these other people.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they were all friends, stuff like that, and they all make content and stuff like that. So in a way, they are coworkers, quote unquote.
Yeah, but even coworkers, though, you gotta not how again, I guess depends your relation. Again, depends on your friendship, your
Yeah, of course.
status with that person.
But
I don't
he
know.
would give a sob story like, "I'm late on this. I need a plane ticket to get here. My car is not working." Stuff like that. They were all lies.
Yeah, but also now here's the thing: if they're all like somewhat good friends, I'm gonna assume that could not be the case at all. They
Gotta be good enough friend to lend like $1,000, stuff
exactly.
like that.
If you see what he does on Twitch, should
That is,
you?
that
You,
is
you see
true.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, say again, back to the example. If you gave me money for something, right, and you see that I go to a casino a lot or whatever, if I'm like always sport betting, you're gonna question that.
Yeah.
Should I really have given him the money?
Exactly.
Then I guess you see it happening again, and you just look at him like, what's this going to? And I give you some sob story. You're gonna be like, all right. Then if you see it happening again, I'll be like, all right, I'm not giving you any more money. You know
I
mean?
got to cut you off because obviously there's something fishy going on here, and you're lying to me.
Exactly. Like it's messed up on the person's part. Like again, if they have an addiction, of course. And that's not going to be the case for everybody. Mm-hmm. People have legitimate reasons or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, like, people are not, I feel like nowadays, our generation's a little bit more gullible about things.
Definitely.
I feel like it's, like, listen, don't get me wrong, like, I'll fall for stuff easily sometimes. But to a certain extent, I'm not going to let you take advantage of me at that point.
Yeah, if you don't do your research and if you don't ask around, I'm not saying you deserve to get scammed, but you left yourself open for that type of behavior.
Exactly.
You made yourself a victim in a sense.
I'm trying to think of another example. Like, say if someone's like doing like rehab, like another example. Like, say if they ask to stay with you after you let them stay in the house by themselves. Mm-hmm. Again, depends on if they're trying to do better. Should be under some certain maintenance. But if you leave them in the house by yourself and you're out at work and they're just
they're left to their own vices and
exactly.
Yeah.
I've heard stories about it. They're gonna rob you blind, no matter how close you've been to them. Mm-hmm. Again, it depends on like.
It's addiction is a disease, yeah.
It is. Like, again, the guy obviously has something going on, but also those people whoever donated to him, they gotta realize like, all right, instead of giving him the money, I should probably try to help him. Like, how do I know that my money's going to good use?
Yeah, and you also have to think about all the people who do gamble responsibly on Twitch. Now, of course, if Twitch does take action and ban all types of gambling, all those people are left without a job.
Yeah.
They were smart enough to control themselves.
Yeah, and I've seen. I don't know if you know about this. Like, a lot of the big YouTubers, Ninja, Mr. Beast, Ludwig.
Yeah, they all play games.
Like they all went to a big poker tournament.
Yeah,
like,
and they live streamed it.
You know about it.
Yeah,
a bunch of big names or whatever. But
it was all fun. It was all fun and games.
Yeah, you don't see it happen all the time. Maybe they poker sparked their interest, whatever. Like they got some money. Maybe they want to try it out. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? But you don't see like them doing it all the time. They have limits.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like I've seen like on a show, people have millions or whatever. Some people just blow their money because they don't care. They got money.
Yeah.
But these guys, they have a lot of money, but also I know when to stop.
Exactly.
They're willing to learn, but also they're willing to put limits on themselves. Like, all right, I gotta be a good example or whatever. Like again, like gambling responsibly on Twitch, you should lead by example. Like you're on Twitch to provide content, make people happy, do all that stuff. You can't. I feel image is key nowadays. Everyone's gonna judge you, like we were saying with appearance before. If you walk into this room dressed in like all raggedy clothes and everything, I can tell what kind of person you are.
True.
You know
I don't think you can tell what type of person you are. But you kind of have an idea of maybe what they're going through.
Yeah. Like if you come in like dressed as a bum or whatever, I'm just gonna look at you and be like, either he doesn't care what people think of him, like sometimes,
which could be an admirable quality.
Yeah, like sometimes, like you've seen me before, I'll come in literally in my pajamas, I don't care.
You did one time come in swim trunks.
What? All right.
Yeah.
I swim now, by the way, so you can't judge me.
You were wearing swim trunks as shorts. You wore.
No one knew.
I knew.
Yeah,
people who
you wouldn't have known unless I said.
I would have exactly. Swim trunks are so different from basketball shorts. I would have known.
No, you wouldn't have. You didn't know until I told you. You're like, whoa, why are you wearing?
I was like, they look different.
They look different. Okay, fair point. No, but like I was saying though, appearance is everything nowadays. That's how people are gonna interpret things now. It's like it's like analytics. You know how you process information.
Yeah.
You're not looking at like is how I'm looking at you right now. You're not processing information. You're processing the person in front of you. You can tell by what you're doing, like what you're wearing. It's like, all right, like he seems like a good kid, dresses nice, tries to be very presentable, like we are right now. Obviously, if I'm coming on a live stream, I wouldn't want to be like a bum. You know.
Also, on a good note, I think Ludwig and XQC they're teaming together and they're paying people back, like refunding them who got scammed. They're paying upwards up to like $300,000.
So wait, I didn't know about that.
So they took it upon themselves, the two of them. They're like, reach out to us if you got scammed by this person. We'll pay you the money.
Now
it's out of their own pockets.
They're gonna say random people reach out. Anyone's gonna try to reach out now.
Yeah, of course. But I'm sure you provide proof. Like I said, a lot of people had screenshots of the DMs of the conversations where he's asking them for money.
Honestly,
good on them.
No, yeah. I think it's because, again, like I said, Ludwig was one of the people on the thing. He was having fun, blah blah blah. And again, I don't see them posting content all the time about them gambling or like top 10 things you should do when at a table. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I feel like a lot of the people who are having huge outcry, like the hashtag ban gambling on Twitch, aren't gamblers themselves. So I'm like, you really don't know how that world works. You know what I mean? Like,
who?
Well, people like, to my knowledge, Pokemane and Mizkif, they don't gamble, but they're two of the biggest content creators saying hashtag ban gambling on Twitch. So I kind of take your opinion on it with a grain of salt because you don't live in that world. You don't know how that world functions.
Yeah, like, listen, anyone can look at gambling as root of all evil, or like money's the root of all evil, like blah blah blah. Like, people have different views on it. That's completely fine. You know what I mean? But if you're not personally experienced enough to say that I gamble, I know my limits, or I don't know my limits, but like you're well aware of it, I don't think they should be saying anything because they're not informed. I don't feel like they're not informed enough.
Yeah, and then also it feels like going back to like other content that it's much more deadly on YouTube and Twitch. If you ever heard of the YouTuber Nakato Avocado, he's the binge eater. What he does is
he's the guy that got like huge.
Yeah, exactly. He is binge eating entire fast food menus for YouTube content. He's literally
you saw what he was before.
Oh, he was vegan originally. He was vegan, very healthy, but then he started eating meat and got really into it and fast food. He's literally killing himself from views. That's terrible. He's eating himself to death.
That's a perfect example of addiction.
How many people you know said we got banned eating on Twitch, or we got banned binge eating on Twitch, or the mukbang challenges, or stuff like that?
Yeah, again.
So to me, to say gambling is a root of all evil is the worst thing that can ever be done.
There's like other things going like that. Honestly, I'm glad you brought that up because that's another great example. That guy was like promoting like good eating habits, blah blah blah. He's vegan or whatever. Like, again, not everyone's vegan. Like what you should do, not what you shouldn't do. But once like it can happen to anybody. I'm gonna be honest. It can happen to anybody. Yeah. Like everyone can be a victim to it. But for views, that's like a little ridiculous.
And he I don't think financially can stop because he has like a very fancy apartment in New York City, I think.
I mean, listen, people are sick in the head. They like that stuff.
Oh yeah. I've seen a lot of people who say, "Wow, this made me feel healthier about myself," because it's always you always feel better about yourself when you see a person doing worse than you. Or
that's true.
Or I like eating along to this video or stuff like that.
No, because when I see him pop up on TikTok, personally, it makes me sick.
It's horrific.
It's like horrific. You should if people like who have health issues, like they get themselves like that, like that's a different story. But he on purpose did that.
Well, I think he does have a food addiction, but it's the fact that no one's saying, "Oh, we have to help him." It's the gambling got big that now everyone's going for that. That's what kind of doesn't make sense to me.
I feel like that's two different
things. There's two sides to every story.
Everyone's gonna everyone eats. I mean, if you don't eat, then you're dead at that point.
Well, he's eating enough for about 5 people a video.
But have you seen the video where it's like he's with that girl eating ramen. He's like, each bowl has 2 packs, and the girl goes, "I'm kind of a 1-pack girl," or whatever, blah blah blah, and everyone's just looking at it like, "No, you're not. You're more than a 1-pack girl." It's just like it's ridiculous. Like, people indulge themselves too much. Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like with just the gambling thing in general, like all that stuff.
Yeah, people just need to be responsible, and people who view that content have to be responsible themselves.
Yeah, like when I see like a lot of like people who work out a lot, they have a cheat day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who is it? Brian Shaw, like World's Strongest Man or whatever. I seen his cheat day. He eats over 20,000 calories for his cheat day, and that's how many you're eating for 10 people right there.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you've seen The Rock eats peanut butter brownies, 2 meat lovers pizzas,
But at the end of the day, you don't see him doing that every day. He's putting limits.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about limits.
He's responsible.
Yeah, like again, and it could happen to him. Like, say one day he's like, "Oh, screw it, I'm just gonna keep doing that every day until I massive. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty much it. Really, like the gambling thing. Like, do you think it should be banned?
No, I don't think it should be banned. Like I said, there should be a disclaimer before you click on the stream.
I agree with the same thing, and also I blame parents for not limiting their
Mhm.
kids to certain things. That's what I think. Because, like, if I let myself get down to a path, I'm 19. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
My parents are still like, if they see me struggling with that, they're gonna like limit myself.
They're gonna check in with you,
They're
yeah.
gonna check in. They're not gonna let me do whatever I want. I'm 19. Remember that.
Mhm.
There's 12-year-olds that their parents don't even check on what they're looking at.
Yeah, that's a scary idea.
That's scary. You know what I mean? I feel like the generation now is a little more screwed up in the head.
Oh, definitely, because no one has any limits. That's the whole point. The whole point of this is to have limits, to limit yourself to certain things. You want me late for your haircut? So I guess that's our conclusion. That's how we're wrapping it up. Chris got a haircut.
I do have a haircut.
You desperately.
Do you think I look good this natural?
Wow, you desperately need a haircut. Wow, your hair is so long.
I look like a chia pet.
No, you don't. You don't even need a haircut.
Take off your hat.
I
You
could.
look like a Lego right now.
I
can take off your hair right now.
That's the confidence boost I needed today.
Listen, no problem.
Mhm.
Next week, I don't know what we're gonna talk about next week. We're gonna figure it out on the fly. We might just decide that day. So
Okay,
actually, let us know what you guys want us to talk about, or if you guys got anything going on that you need opinions about.
Oh yeah, we can do call-ins. We can do call-ins.
Call-ins. We're also gonna do a giveaway one week. I don't know if he agreed on it yet. But
We did not talk about a giveaway. No, we didn't.
Every other couple of weeks, we'll ask 3 questions, and whoever gets most of the 3 questions right, we're gonna do a free Starbucks drink. He hasn't agreed to it yet, but I'm definitely doing it. So, Capola, on that note.
All right, can I trust you to hit the end stream button?
I don't know, can you?
Oh my god.
All right, everyone, have a good day.
Have a good day. See you next Tuesday.
Capola's ugly.
Shut up.
Hey.